Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 99 of Trials and Trebuchets. I am your Dungeon Master, Luke. For 99 episodes I have been, and joining me are my players, whose names have been this since the beginning.
The beginning of time.
Hi, my name is Ben, and I
really
play the
happened?
level 6 gnome wizard, Windsor Wallaby, along with his cuddly little companion, Mr. Wiggles. I have not undergone a name change, and this has been the names given to me since I entered this land.
This land. There was one before that, but we don't talk about it.
Land before time, dude.
The one before Ben, in the land before.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hello, everybody. It is me, Carla. I play the ever annoying level 6 still
Aw.
tiefling roguelock. 1/6 warlock, 1/5. Wait, what?
That's not how math works.
1/6 warlock, 5/6 rogue. Integrity Addleberry.
Okay.
A who's wearing pineapple over the sea. Integrity. Cute as a golden like all Breaker should be. Integrity. Integrity. Integrity.
Jesus Christ.
Integrity.
That's just the rest of the episode.
episode.
Just keep it running. 45 more minutes, please.
Oh, that's so fucking
I'm
good.
sorry. I had to.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Mira Marchand, the level 6 half-elf bard. Not sure yet who Mira Marchand is playing. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be true. In this case, what's improbable is artists having fun.
Aww.
That depends on how drunk we get him. Anyway,
True?
my name is Sam, and I played the level 6 human sorceress Serenep Cinderman. I've also played other favorites as Darcy, who I guess I will be tapping into once again in this episode.
I like that you reference your favorite when you reference the favorites. You're like, my favorite, Darcy, who I
No,
love
hear
more
me
than
out.
anything."
Darcy is a favorite of characters I have played.
That's true. And last time on Trials and Trebuchets, the students attended classes and we showed it. So stop bothering me about it. Mira got a warning. Integrity got a pebble. Serenep got a kiss. And Winsler got a bad grade on his jamunculus dissection. Afterwards, after class, that is, they convinced artists to come and party with them at the Wraithrin estate. Upon arrival, they were promptly separated from their mentor, as is tradition, and received some wonderful evening outfits, and started preparing for the events to come.
May I retcon something briefly?
Yes.
Well, it's not really a retcon, it's just an addition. Can I also ask, could Mira also have asked Felice for a tiny little deerstalker hat for Kurogami?
Oh.
Aw.
Oh. Yeah. What does it look like? What colors is that?
I think it's like the same color as Mira's waistcoat, like with like the gray
Cool.
plaid, just for it to match. And so she's got like a little flying Sherlock Holmes companion.
That's so adorable.
Oh, let me just write that down. Because it will become relevant soon.
What? Y'all remember that time in Patter where they were like, hey, professor, we'll take you with us. And we all tour them.
But we
And then
know
he
these
lost his
people.
fingers.
But we do know the people this time, and I don't get cold vibes from this.
True.
Fair. This is where we find out Delnus is in a cult.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
So, Felice is leading you down the hallway. There is portraits on either side. The lovely carpet extends out in front of you, covering the tile floor. It's very well lit in here by some sort of magical means, it would seem. Felice leads you. He is the butler. He's wearing a full silver suit, or a silver tuxedo, it would be more appropriate to call it, because it has the two little jacket tails. He has very pointed shoes on. Following right behind him is a matching copy known as Winsler Wallaby, also wearing the same thing, but with a bow tie on. He's pulling behind him a large cart of books. Next is Serenep and Mira in very similar outfits, wearing waistcoats and overshirts tucked into lovely pants. Upon Mira's shoulder is Kurogami with a little deer stalker. And finally, pulling up the rear in a large white and gold gown with a pirate hat and an eye patch on is Integrity Idleberry. Felice is carrying in front of him with both of his arms that wooden box that had all of the names everyone had submitted, and he will lead you to a door which you, Mira, and you, Serenep, have seen before, the door to the lounge.
The door to hell.
Where you have come once before. Yes, the door to hell. Welcome. We're back.
Amazing.
You're back at the Wharf of the Wicked. And Alabaster's here. No.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
And he will open the doors and he will say, "Now presenting Mr. Winslow Wallaby, Miss Mira Marchand, Miss Serenep Cinderman, and of course Miss Integrity Idleberry." And you all are welcomed into the lounge. There's some very lush-looking leather chairs in here, a lovely big fireplace, the carpeted floors, the wood-paneled walls with large pieces of ornate and exquisite art hung upon them. And sitting in some of these chairs are 4 other young adults. 2 of them you recognize. One of them you've seen today. In this very same day. There's Penny Royal wearing a plum dress that is high collared. You see a dark-skinned dwarven woman. She has bright white hair that is pulled up into a small bonnet-style cap, and she is wearing similar to what Integrity has on, but a slightly more beigey color. You see a young human man who is sitting with his legs crossed. He is holding a cup. He is holding the saucer and a cup of tea and seems to be drinking it daintily. He has a pair of spectacles positioned at the very end of his nose. They're very tiny and perfectly circular, and you're not entirely certain how they're staying attached on the end of his nose since there are no supporting arms. He has this grayish brown hair. And then, of course, you see, and he's wearing just like pants and a regular shirt, can't get very exciting with that. And then you see, sitting in one of these chairs, similarly to her other 3 friends, drinking some tea, and they seem to be having a lovely little chat. You see one Delnis Wraithrin, of the Wraithrins, for whom this home belongs. She is wearing a very, not so much poofy, a very straight black dress with very fitted arms and lacy bits at the end. She has a small black hat on that seems to have a veil that comes down over the top half of her face, that you can still see through, but is just very cool looking, I would say, personally, as the person who was like, that would be neat for Delnis to have. It's neat. And so they will all notice your entry as it has been heralded by the wonderful Felice. It looks like Delnis, when you all walk in, almost chokes on some of her tea.
Oh boy.
And is coughing to herself and trying to clear her throat. At which point the young man, the one with the grayish brown hair and the spectacles on the end of his nose, will say, "Oh, hey, well, hey everyone, welcome." And I think Penny would shoot him a look, as if to say "You're not. Why are you doing?" She would even say "Why are you doing it? Just wait for Delnis." Delnis will finish clearing her throat, her face turning red as she coughs, and she will look at the 4 of you and say, "Oh, welcome. Hi. And she'll just sit there with her mouth open for a long time, staring at the 4 of you before snapping back into it and saying, "Do you want some tea? Come sit down. You guys there's chairs, pull up chairs."
Okay. Sure. Thank you. And Mira will sit down.
Okay.
Like suddenly, very awkwardly, she's like, "Oh no, what if I actually wasn't supposed to be here?
What have
Like,
I done?
Yeah. What if Penny fucking lied to me?
Yeah, like
Um,
she's a little bit like, I don't think she likes me. Like, what if this was a setup? Like, oh no.
Like completely get you out of Delta's life.
You, Mira, feel like Delnus is avoiding your gaze, which is, just it seems like out of an awkwardness.
Mm.
But there are 3 other sets of eyes which seem to be firmly placed upon you.
Oh dear.
And you can all pull up chairs and sit around in this lovely lounge and get tea if you would like to. Winsler, what do you do with your cart of books?
I'm just gonna keep it parked next to me.
Okay, you sit in one of these chairs. It's very comfortable. You have to like go on your tippy toes to like jump up into it, but once you're in there, it's like, oh my gosh, relaxing,
Comfortable.
beautiful, outstanding. Yeah, you like sink right in, not too much that it would be uncomfortable to get out of, but just enough that it is a very luxurious experience. And so this dwarven woman will kind of smile gently. She's not glaring per se, Mira, or I guess all of you would be able to see. Like, no one is really glaring. Penny looks to have like a soured look upon her face almost. But this dwarven woman would say, "Oh, we've heard a lot about you four. Well, more about one of you than the rest, but it's a pleasure to meet you all."
Serenep is pretty well known.
Cyranova's gonna look over at Mira like, what?
Excuse you.
They make a charisma check.
Okay. Just straight charisma?
Yeah, just straight. Or you could make it a performance check,
Oh,
actually.
if it's a performance check,
I'm gonna, yeah.
that becomes a 17.
Okay. They do laugh at this joke you've made, Mira. And tea is handed out. The dwarven woman will say, "It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Zara Greybeard." And the gray-haired human guy the gray brownish haired guy, for those of you who've watched Haikyuu, imagine that he looks exactly like Oikawa, and you've 100% nailed what this individual looks like. He's tall and slender and has this air about him that is just smug.
Yeah, I haven't seen Haikyuu in a million years, but I have Google Images up. I can picture this guy.
Oh my gosh, I want to date this guy.
Oh my gosh.
Because I remember having a crush on him, like, okay.
You
Never
fucking
mind,
hate.
ignore me.
Anyways, 1 second. Let me take a drink of water.
I hated him because he's a bitch. But he's a pretty boy.
This pretty boy's a bitch.
He will clear his throat and say, "And it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Ainsley Woodley."
Ainsley Woodley.
Ainsley Woodley. Top of the alchemy department.
Oh my god.
He advertises himself as that?
That's how he just introduced himself.
I top of the morning.
You see his teammates roll their eyes as if this is a common occurrence.
Nice to meet you, Ainsley and Zara. Hope that you are having a good evening.
Delnus will like smile at you, Mira, and then smile at you, the rest of you, so that it's not like it's singling out Mira.
Mm-hmm.
And will just to the room, I think, say, "So how have all of you been?" And at this point, I want to ask a question that didn't get a chance to be answered previously so far. To what extent does the entire school know about what happened?
Oh, I think that
Which
the
thing?
story is that there was something like some accident in the zoology department. I
Mhm.
think because I believe Mira is taking a zoology class now, so I think that she has kept it vague. But that I think that people would know that there was some kind of like beast accident. I don't know if Delnus would have told her friends the real story. Like, I don't know what she would have said, but I think that would be what Mira would want people to believe. Because it's
Okay.
close enough to the truth that she doesn't have to keep a bunch of different stories straight, but it also isn't like, "Hey guys, guess what's in the sewers of your school?"
I mean, was there? We took care of it, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, she is immortal, but like, don't worry about it.
Don't sit on toilets, basically,
Ever. That's the moral of the first year.
ever again.
So yeah, Delnus asks this question of like, how are all of you doing after everything? How's Mr. Artesian doing?
He's doing well. He went up to talk with your dad. And I think that Mira's just gonna like pull down at her sleeve to like wave with like the arm and kind of like give a thumbs up with it and be like, it's great. It's very good. It's very cool. It's great for music. And things have been boring, which is good. And yeah, that's how I have been. And then Mira will look at her friends.
I am
Okay.
going to, so I will recognize that Mira was in a very uncomfortable position. So I am going to bow down with my, because like, I'm really just feeling my skirt, like curtsy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, thank you very much for inviting us over.
Oh, Lord.
I'm trying to get into character, dude. And then after I get up, I'm going to return back to normal, and I'm gonna be like, we're doing great. We've been busy with school.
Oh, that wasn't your real voice, Zara says.
Oh no, did you like it? Did it seem real?
Oh, it was wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much.
So you're just doing great. Windsor, are you just gonna sit here and read? Are you engaging?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and do some reading. I got work I want to get ahead of.
This young man, Ainsley Woodley, will kind of scooch his chair over towards you. Loudly, they're not light chairs. He scooches it across the carpet towards you, Winsler, and will resume being cross-legged once he has scooched across. And he'll say, "So," and adjust his small nose glasses and say, "What are you reading?"
It's for one of my classes.
Oh, are you that far behind that you have to read when you're relaxing too?
No, I've caught up. I want to get ahead. So in case I might, or unless something happens again in the future where I may fall behind and may not be able to attend classes.
Why do you guys have to be bitches?
You're a little uncomfortably close. I'm just gonna.
He
point
is
that
very
out.
much uncomfortably close. He's almost like leaning on the arm of your chair and like looking at the book you're reading. And like when he goes silent after you tell him like, "Oh, I'm just trying to catch up or get ahead," and then you go back to reading like, "And now he's gonna leave me alone." You just after like a minute realize that he's just reading next to you, just reading your book over your shoulder.
Jesus Christ.
God, this fucking guy.
Yes.
I'm just gonna conjure up like a piece of wood, and I'm gonna situate it between him and me as best as I can.
I think Penny would say to you, "Yeah, really don't mind him at all. He's the worst ever.
Don't
So just
mind
ignore
at
him."
all. He's right there.
He does not seem to be hurt by such a comment. So Mira, you show off your arm and everything. Integrity, you say everything's good. Serenep, did you talk to Delnus? She hands you some tea.
I don't think me and Delnus. I mean, like Delnus is a cool person, and Serenep does like Delnus. She's nice, but like they haven't reached a comfort level where Serenep can completely relax in this environment like she would with her regular group.
That's
So she's
fair.
like standing taller, and she's not saying anything. She's searching, but like if someone asks her a question, she'll politely answer it and not be too big on like what the answer is. She just doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think Zara would address you, Mira, and say, "So, I know that you're in the musical department with Professor Raithrin," and then turn to like Integrity and Serenep and say, "But what departments are you two with? Are you also in the musical applications or no?"
No. I work in different fields of magic. I can't play an instrument to save my life.
Yes. It's kind of a rude question to ask first years. I apologize. You haven't really had a chance to explore everything or make a decision yet, so I understand.
I don't really dab much into magic. I mean, I know a little bit of magic, but I'm more into martial applications, and that's what I'm doing.
Oh, that's very fun. I took one of those courses in my first year as well. They're very fun. Not quite for me, but I'm in the Divine Studies department, so that's
Oh,
where I
that's
found
really
myself.
cool.
Yes, I think it's
So
quite
you're
interesting.
not all in necromancy. What about everyone else? Is Ainsley also in divine studies or?
Ainsley will look at you over the top of his nose
Ugh.
glasses and say, no, I'm in the alchemy department. Top of the alchemy department.
Oh, of course.
Mira.
Right.
And he'll
okay, that's
just
great.
enunciate. You can almost like feel the physical form of your name as he says Mira. And it's just annoying. You can see Felice is standing by the door and he just seems to be not zoned out. Zoned out is the wrong word, but just like standing, staring at the wall, trying his absolute best to ignore every single thing that's going on unless he's called upon.
Mira dislikes Ainsley, but she's gonna be nice to him because she really wants Delnis's friends to like her.
Aw.
Also, I now ship Ainsley and Bailey.
Oh my
The
god.
worst,
Oh.
guys. See, this is the reason why Delnis is like, oh, Bailey's not that bad.
Oh my god.
Because she has to put up with this dude. I get it now.
Like
Yeah.
they're literally in the same group like us, and we're constantly together. Oh my gosh.
It's kind of like the school like football lead and like the head cheerleader. Like in like movies they're like stereotypically like the
Just
worst
the
people,
worst
but like
together.
they work together. It's beautiful.
Yes, perfect.
So you say that you study divine theory. Do you
Oh.
learn about places that have strong influxes of magic? Randomly asks.
She'll giggle at that and say, oh, well, I study not just necessarily divine theory itself, and not really in its totality, more just divine theory and how it relates to a specific my god, Rel. So I could mausoleums are typically very good for making connections with Rel, if that's what you're into. Also, places where people often give birth are very good places. The god of birth and death, after all. And of course, maybe even the necromancy department or the infirmary could help you out if you really wanted to commune with them. Why do you ask? Integrity?
Yes, my name is Integrity. And I don't know, I just ask a lot of questions.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. What a wonderful natural curiosity. And she turns to like Penny and Delnis and gives like a smile, like, oh, isn't that nice? Don't you also think that's nice?
I'm gonna look away and snicker a little bit.
Whoa.
Wow.
Well, while she's looking away, just because I'm like, oh my
Rude.
gosh, she's so
Damn.
nice. like she's way nice, and I don't think I've ever encountered anyone this nice. Because
So I'm gonna snicker
all this
at
time I
her.
thought Sylvie was nice, but then she's actually not nice. But then this person is actually nice.
Oh, rude. That's fair. And she'll look over at Penny and Delnis is like, yeah, it is really good. Penny has just been, again, the cousin of a glaring at you. What's a word for that? Like not a glare, like sub glare.
Like a hard stare.
Like a hard
Paddington style?
stare, Paddington style. Yes,
Okay.
definitely 100% what I was
gosh.
imagining, Sarah.
Okay.
Penny is like giving you a hard stare this entire time, Mira, to the point that she doesn't realize that Zara is addressing her. She will sip her tea deeply and then say, so Mira, why haven't you spoken to Delnis in a couple of weeks? To which everyone kind of like looks into the, like, is like, oh,
Uh-oh.
we're having this conversation?
right now?
Like,
In front of everyone?
Well, Delnis hasn't spoken to me either.
yeah, it's kind of on both of us, right?
Yeah. I've sort of just been really, I've been focusing on stuff.
It didn't have anything to do with wanting to go back into like saying you wouldn't go do anything dangerous and then doing dangerous stuff again?
This sort of kind of seems like a conversation that, well, I mean, yeah, that happened. But it wasn't my idea, and it prevented future dangerous stuff.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Okay.
Is there a spot in the room where Sternup can look and pretend that she's in the
10
office?
plus 7. 17.
Oh, 17. Just gonna make a note of that.
Oh god.
Okay. She kind of raises her eyebrows and closes her eyes like, all right. And she'll say as such and take a sip of tea. And there's a very heavy silence, I think, that falls over the room in the wake of this very, should have been a private conversation.
Absolutely. Mira is
100%.
awkward as fuck.
And then the doors will blast open. And in will strut one Elric Wraithrin wearing his maroon,
strut.
like maroon, like leather, not leather jacket, like a leisure jacket, like a smoking jacket almost. And he has like a big floral ascot on. And behind him is on one side Artesian, no bottle of wine, looking kind of like
Is he dressed up too?
Artis is not dressed up, no, unfortunately. And then to describe what Artis is looking or wearing, what's like the fantasy equivalent of some like chinos with like a kind of grungy looking buttoned up shirt. Very much like, oh, I was told that this would be fine to wear because everything was going to be taken care of. And he looks like he's at, like, it's Saturday. He looks like he's just had a very long day of working and that his appearance has not been the priority recently. He might have like 2 or 3 little hairs of stubble on his chin, as elves, don't grow very much facial hair, just to show you that he hasn't groomed himself in a while. And so Artis is behind Elric to the left, and behind him to the right would be a shorter human woman. She's wearing like bright orange like sashed clothing with a lot of gold jewelry, and she has like this long, very, very silky looking black hair. And Elric will say, I'm glad you're all getting on great. We finished up our meeting. We just wanted to check on all of you, and then we're going to get dinner started. How's everyone doing?
Great.
I am doing fanciful, Professor Wraithrin, and I'm going to bend down and really again get a feel for my skirt. Thank you so much for inviting us over.
Zara looks so happy that you're doing the accent integrity. Like she's like just smiling, so like you're filling her life with joy, it seems. Delnis looks like a deer in the headlights and looks at her father and will kind of compose herself and be like, we're doing good. We can start dinner now. I think everyone's done with the kind of, we can start dinner now, Dad. And she will get up and everyone can begin to make their way over to the other room. Winsler, Felice will walk over to you and he will say, if you would like, Mr. Wallaby, I could pull your book trolley for you.
No.
Okay. Very well. I'll just walk behind and make sure it doesn't get caught up in the carpet.
Okay.
After you, please.
Oh my god.
And he looks like hurt. He looks hurting as you pull this little trolley with its little metal wheels across the carpet, and it pulls up little
Ruining
threads
it.
here and there, and he just
Ruining it.
is like scuffing over it with his shoe, following you as you all make your way to the dining room.
Your fanciful decorations mean nothing to me.
So, to describe the dining room, it's a long table. At the far end of this room, there is a huge arched window, and through it you can see a beautiful lake. The autumn colors in the leaves haven't quite taken full force, as there are a lot of trees surrounding this lovely lake. But you see some yellows, the hints of a bit of the autumn creeping in. And you see some dark clouds on the horizon approaching. And it's just a wonderful, cool autumn day. And everyone can take a seat. Elric takes the head of the table. On his right hand will sit Artis, and on his left hand will sit this other woman. But before she sits down, I think while you're walking to the dining hall, actually, or the dining room, actually, she would walk next to all of you four and say, "It's a pleasure to meet all of you finally," and extend a hand and greet all of you individually and say, "I am these students' mentor, Indumati Parlor." And I just wanted to extend...
What a
How's
name.
it spelled?
Yeah.
Indumati, and then last name, Parlor. Just the word parlor.
So if she ends up getting revealed as the murderer, it's like a double parlor scene.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Was that supposed to not be apparent?
No,
Pardon
it's supposed to
me.
be apparent. No, don't worry. I just wanted to thank you all for everything you've done for Delnis specifically so far in the year. She isn't typically this, and she'll wait for Delnis to like walk down the hallway a little bit further and say, airheaded. She's usually much more competent, I would say, in the going on 3 years that I've known her. That's not an insult to her by any means at all, just to say that she doesn't normally find herself in dangerous situations. I'm lost in the woods here, and my point is that I just wanted to thank all of you for keeping her safe, because she means she's very important to me as my student.
Of course. I'm glad to hear that. That's good.
She does not smile at you. She just looks at you. She has very dark circles under her eyes, as if she
Oh
does
my
not get that
gosh.
much sleep.
Oh dear.
And she will say, all that business with the sewers,
Uh-oh.
Oh, so she. Okay.
Delnis told me, yes.
Okay.
It's very tragic, and I want nothing for the best for all the students here. If anything is unsafe, I know that it might not be the rest of the faculty might not be the most trustworthy, but Mr. Artesian is and has proven to be trustworthy, and I hope that you would count me as trustworthy as well. If something happens, please let me know.
No.
Because it might impact my students as well.
We just met you.
It took us a long time to trust Artis.
I think things shouldn't happen in the future,
Mm.
but thank you for saying that.
Yes. I hope nothing happens in the future either. But the way this year is going, I can't help but shake the feeling that it's not going to be that simple or going to be that plain.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
But we
thank you
should
for-
move on to
Yeah.
dinner now.
Yes,
We
yes,
shouldn't keep
dinner,
our hosts
dinner.
waiting. And she'll walk, and as you're walking now, in my mind, you kind of had stopped in the hallway to have this conversation. Felice taking this time to catch up with scuffing his shoes along the carpet and matting down those pulled up threads. And then as you continue walking down towards the dining room where everyone else has entered, she'll say one last thing in your ear, Mira, which is, she never stops talking about you.
Mira does not respond, but she does. Her cheeks do super heat up at hearing that.
All right. And all of you enter into the dining room. Where does everyone want to sit?
I want to sit beside Artis.
Okay, you sit beside Artis.
I'm gonna wait and see where Delnis sits first.
Ooh. Delnis would sit. So, all right. Let me make I haven't made a seat map in so long.
I've already
All
started
right.
drawing one in my notebook.
Okay. Indumati would sit down opposite Artis. So on Elric's left side. And then Integrity is going to sit next to, oh my god, two I names. Integrity sits next to Artis. So it would be on the left side of the table, Indumati. And then we would say, how about Ainsley? And then Zara would sit down next to you, Integrity. And Penny is also waiting to see where Delnis is going to sit.
I'm
So
gonna sit
Sarah-
next to Ainsley.
Okay, you sit down next to Ainsley and pull up your little book trolley.
I don't want
between the two.
anyone else. I don't want anyone else here to suffer.
That's very brave of you.
Oh, Winsler the martyr.
Is there a space open on the other side of Integrity?
It's Artis on one side, Integrity, and then Zara. So you could sit next to Zara and still be able to talk to her pretty easily.
Sure.
Okay. And then Delness will sit down next to Winsler and across from Serenepth.
Okay. Mira will sit not next to her, but like diagonally from her, so
Okay.
next to Serenepth.
And Penny will sit down across from you, Mira, and next to Delness.
Okay.
And that is everybody. And then Elric will clap his hands and say, Felice, the dinner, please. Or Felice, the dinner, please. I did a bad voice.
Felice, the dinner, please.
Felice? And out come many people, or not many people, out come many food or trolleys filled with laden with food. Those silver platters with I forget the name in this moment, and I feel like a real fucking starfire.
God,
Metal
Cloches, like the cloches.
Oh, like the
Yeah,
lids?
yeah, the cloches. Yeah, that's the name.
Half
the
a metal
metal
circle.
lids. The metal half sphere with the
The
handle.
food containment spheres.
So out come a lot of trolleys, wooden trolleys with cloches of food, like closed cloches of food on them. They levitate seemingly of their own accord and are pushed in seemingly of their own accord, and the food is lifted into the air and drifts over and sits itself upon the table. The lids begin to disappear and vanish before your very eyes. What types of food are here at this lovely, lovely dinner?
Roast duck.
Roast duck. There's just 12 billion roasted ducks.
I
What
would
else
like
is here?
I would like seafood ball spaghetti. Instead of meatballs,
Seafood?
instead of
Okay.
ground beef meatballs, it's seafood meatballs.
Oh.
Okay, seafood
Spaghetti.
balls spaghetti is here. What else, everybody?
How about a hearty
Mhm.
French onion soup?
Ooh.
Ben loves a hearty soup. Every time I ask y'all
I love
to describe
soup.
food,
Soup is
Benny's
great.
like, there's stew, there's soup. A hearty French onion soup. Yeah, it comes out in a lovely little bowl, like a very thick clay bowl. There's just cheese melted over top all of it.
Can there be cheesy bread with it?
And there's large pieces of garlicky bread to distribute as well and eat. Serenepth or Sam, what other food is here?
Not a stir fry, but like like when you put oil and seasoning, then you barbecue vegetables.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's some roasted veg
Delicious.
assembled on a plate in an intricate little statue almost. And as you pull the vegetables away from this intricate piece of statuary, it doesn't collapse, and the vegetables just stay there, essentially frozen vertically in this lovely
The Jenga tower.
almost like a person, like an archer, like leaned back trying to shoot into the sky. But as you take the pieces of vegetable away, it just becomes less distinctly that and just more vegetables in the air. Do you all try to have any conversation throughout this dinner? Or rather, abstractly, what topics of conversation do you think would come up?
I mean, we talked about school and we talked about
You did.
I think we've all passed the small talk stage. Besides,
Yeah.
oh, Parents' Day is coming up. Like that's exciting. That's the only other big event that's really happening soon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe just some how did you guys meet as a group? Like, what was what's your project like? That kind of stuff.
We're in detention.
Okay. Well, we went to the sunken hatch. No.
Oh my god! Every single school group has gone into the hatch, and every single school group thinks they're the only
They're
ones.
the only ones. And Teb was like, it's the true, or it's a mystery.
There's actually 10 million different orbs.
Yeah, there's 17
It's actually an
hatches.
amusement park ride that we
Yeah.
just didn't. That it was too
All of
niche.
this and more is true. Yeah. So you talk about the project that they're working on. Inzumati and the others fill you in on how they're working on golems and the different natural fluids that might allow a golem to obtain life. Is the way she would put it,
Oh my
which is
gosh.
the dinner table way of talking about it. All of them seem to be very enthused about it. Penny is giving you a hard stare this entire time. Like sometimes she'll look over at everyone else and be like cheery and stuff, but then her gaze will always just come back to you, Mira.
And I'm like directly across from her, so I'm sure I'm
Yes.
seeing this a lot. I just keep like trying to awkwardly smile and be like, it's understandable that you wouldn't like me, but I'm gonna be really polite.
Okay. And so that like you might try to have like small conversations between like the people sitting next to each other. Integrity, did you have something you wanted to do?
While we're eating and stuff, is it possible just to make sure artist does know about like the elemental fire thingies with
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna just get his attention and pass him the rock. Or
The
show him
rock.
the rock.
This is your
Show him the
problem
pebble.
now.
No,
You're gonna
just
hand it to
because-
him?
No, I'm just going to like show him and make him read it.
You're gonna make him read it though.
Yes.
Look at my pet rock.
Okay, so Alaric's probably going off about some foolishness like, oh, I ordered this wonderful piano. It should be on the way here any day. It should be arriving any day. I can't wait for it to show up, and so there's this 6th year that wants it, etc. And you're just kind of like, artists, and show him this thing under the table, and he'll read it and look at you and then glance at like everyone around here and say, don't. What? Don't.
I'm going to be using something new.
Yes.
Something
just because
new?
I don't want just in case because it looks like he was very urgent to say to not do anything. But
Mhm.
I will be using Awakened Mind
Ooh.
um,
Warlock.
to telepathically speak to artists.
Okay.
And I am just going to tell him, what do you mean don't? I'm not going to do anything. I'm just showing you that this is a thing that's happening in case anything happens.
Now, does Awakened Mind allow them to reply, or is it one way?
It doesn't say.
Okay. So if it doesn't say, can you read it to me?
You can telepathically speak to any creature you can see within 30 feet of you if it understands at least one language. That's it.
Okay, I think that would be one way in that case.
Okay.
So you would say, I'm not going to do it. I just wanted you to know. And he'll just look at you with fear in his eyes and say, don't.
Don't.
And he'll put his
Cease.
hand on your shoulder almost in a comforting way and reach his hand out as if he wants you to hand him the stone.
Well, if he wants it, he can have it.
Give stone.
Okay.
Give artist stone.
Stone?
And
Oh,
I'm
no,
going
no,
to
not again.
And I'm going to telepathically speak to him again and be like, "Are you sure about this? Because it seems like anyone who encounters this becomes part of the program."
The program.
This is the worst program I've been a part of.
He'll whisper to you, oh, there's worse things. And he'll go back to entertaining Elric to his left, who's still going on about this piano.
Look at these ivory keys.
Do any of the rest of you try to talk
He
to the
brought
person
the piano
who's
to
like,
the dining
like,
room.
Mira, are you going to try to talk to Delmas about something specific? Serenep, do you want to try to talk to anyone?
Again, Serenepth is overrun by people she does not know very well at
Mhm.
all. So ratio is like a little bit over on people she does not know. So she's gone into soiree mode, which is sit up, eat your soup quietly, only talk when question is asked.
I think that Zara, who's sitting to your left, would just be watching you and smiling, and she's going to say, you have such wonderful manners.
she's going to turn her head and look at her, and she's going to smile back politely and say, "Thank you very much. I took many etiquette classes."
I wish my parents had have done something like that for me when I was a kid.
Oh, believe me, they're very dull.
I had to learn nearly everything when I came here to school. We didn't really have that much. We lived in the city, but there was no space or anything. So the dorm room even was larger than what I was used to. I didn't know what to do with everything. It's just, gosh. And then she'll turn to you, Integrity, who's having this like conversation with Artis, and just sit there like eating her food and watching you and just smiling. Winsler, are you eating? You're eating soup and reading a book?
I'm eating soup and reading a book.
Okay. Ainsley is very much paying attention to the Elric, like the professor and mentor conversation, and chiming in when he thinks his opinion would be at all wanted,
Thank God.
which he thinks is quite often, and will anytime he makes a joke, will turn to you and like give you a charming smile as if to be like, wasn't that a good one?
I'm just looking at him with like the spoon in my mouth for like a brief moment.
It was a very good one. You should be paying attention, and he'll pat you on the back and go back to just participating in this conversation.
I'm just gonna sink into my chair and try not
Does
to
he
be
need a high
noticed.
chair, by the way? Because he's so small. Like, does Winsler have like?
I'm
a
pretty
booster
sure.
seat?
I'm pretty sure if I sink lower into the chair,
It would just
I don't
be
know.
like that.
You'll only see
I
my,
imagine
like,
it's like
my
a
forehead.
chair that's like to the point where it's raised up so that there's like little foot pedals as if it's a barber stool to sit upon. And that's like, so you're at the proper height where you can still do everything at the table, but to get down, you would have to like swivel your chair and like lean out and fall down or jump down from it. Yeah. But you can still reach your wagon of books if you needed to swap them out or anything, and are enjoying some soup. You can feel a lovely... Where is Mr. Wiggles? Was he transferred to the new pockets?
Yes.
Which are quite a bit smaller,
Yes.
I should say. Okay. There's a very noticeable bump in Winsler's chest, where a cat is, and you can just feel him like purring against you, and just you're very warm and nice.
Hell yeah.
Mira, did you want to try to talk to Delmas about anything?
I think that I would like just keep trying to engage her in small talk. Like, I don't think that this is the time and place for doing the whole like I'm sorry that I didn't thing. But I think that I just like kind of keep trying to include her in conversation and like ask her questions like, "Oh, that's cool. Tell me more about your golem research." Just like trying to talk to her and like gauge how she's feeling.
Okay. Give me an insight check.
12 plus 3, 15.
Okay. It feels like every time, like you'll be having the conversation, and then she'll be like, "Oh, right now is a perfect time," and then you'll try to include her in the conversation. And it's almost like you've taken her off guard, and she'll choke on her water or just be like otherwise unoccupied or preoccupied, and like not have been paying attention very much, right? Like have been listening to like what Zara is talking to Integrity or Serenep about, right? And you're like, "Hey, what about this one?" Right? So you feel like you almost feel like you're bothering her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
At a point, though, I think that she would say to you, Delmas, "I'm really glad that you came and that it's on better circumstances this time. And I'm glad that about
Thank
your
God,
arm.
I was so worried.
I was checking in with Professor Alaro like every week or so to see how it was coming along."
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me to come, so I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, Mr. Laro had said something like that as well. Yeah. Thank you for inviting me and wanting me to be here.
She smiles at you.
I will smile back.
Okay. You all proceed with dinner in this very calm and civil manner. Nothing too weird gets brought up beyond that golem research. Indumati might go on for a bit too long about it before realizing that it is not the time or the place. Elric just talks constantly about these things that he's waiting on arriving, this piano, a couple of books that he ordered, etc. The roof needs to be redone, all these things, right? Just talking about these things as if, oh, artist, the roof needs to get redone. These kind of things. And artist goes, oh, mine does too.
So does entire half of
House
the house.
ownership, am I right?
And you all finish dinner and would probably have a couple other things to eat before Elric will stand up and I wanted to thank all of you for coming this evening. I would like to thank Felice, and Felice will take a deep bow, for organizing the bulk of the events that will be occurring tonight post dinner. And I want to thank, of course, Delnus and Penelope for bringing the idea to my attention in the first place. I think it's a wonderful idea to have a little bit of leisure amidst such stressful times. But as your professor and your mentors, I don't think it would be very fun for us to hang around. You might feel the need to act on your best behavior almost. So we will be down outside by the lake. If anything happens, you'll know where to find us. Felice here is also very well aware of everything going on in the house, and I trust him with everything. I believe you can all do the same. And Delnus will nod enthusiastically with that. Felice is a responsible man, right?
No.
And Elric will, with that, raise his small glass of wine. It seems to be the wine that Artis brought. And if you all have wine, you might do the same, or whatever other drink you have. And he will say, to the mystery, and take a drink, as if cheersing, doing a little toast. And with that, the three of them will make their way from the dining room elsewhere. And Felice will... Elsewhere, down by the lake, to have some drinks by the lake, you know?
Where the watermelons grow.
And Felice will walk and grab this large wooden box, the one that you put all the names into.
Oh boy, here we go.
And he will walk up to you first. He's gonna walk along. He goes to Mira first.
Okay.
So I need you to roll a d8.
Okie doke.
Oh, so this is how we're doing it.
Oh no.
This is how we're doing it, Ben.
That is a 4. Oh dear.
All right.
Oh boy.
4.
4.
You pull out a small piece of paper. Upon it is Winsler's handwriting and a small addendum that seems to have been added by someone else, likely Felice. And it is written in a lovely purple ink.
Ben, what are you gonna do to me?
I'm
And
sorry.
it is. Oh, I love that you've gotten this one, Sarah. And it reads, Engels.
Engels?
Yeah.
Engels?
Yup.
Cool.
And the part
so
added.
who's Marx?
Ben sent me that, and I was like, "Wait, really?" And he was like, "Yeah, like this thing," and he wasn't even referencing, anyways. And the part added by Felice reads, "A paranoid professor of optics."
Ooh.
Oh jeez.
Up next is Serenepth. I need you to roll me a d8.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. One more very important thing happens when you pull this piece of paper out of this box, Mira.
It explodes.
Okay.
Your entire outfit, as well as Kurogami's little hat, all turn into monochrome purple
What?
Cool.
Welcome
to match the color of that ink.
Whoa.
So up next
Very
is
cool.
Serenepth. Roll me a d8 to see who your identity will be.
Oh, fear is real. Got a 7.
Oh, a 7. In a very who suggested this one? Ooh, in the most perfect and well-tailored script you could imagine, like just the most practiced hand you've probably ever seen.
Calligraphy
reads-
videos on YouTube, yes.
Yes, it reads Simone Idol,
Barry?
Idol.
and it's in an orange ink.
Orange.
In a less refined handwriting and much more readable, it reads Snobby Alchemist.
Gee, I wonder who that could be.
Up next is going to be Zara, and your entire outfit, Serenepth, turns orange to match the color of this ink. Up next is Zara. She will roll. Oh
Orange,
my god! I
like
don't
the
have a
fire that spews from her fingers.
D8. Okay. Zara seems to pull a piece of paper. Integrity, you looking over, and Serenepth, you looking over, can see that it reads Celeste in a very
That's a beautiful
white
name.
ink. And her entire outfit, which was already kind of white, just turns even whiter to match her snow white hair. You do not see what the small little blurb at the bottom that Felice has written for her reads, however. Integrity Idleberry,
Ah, my pen.
please.
Oh, I got a 4 again, so I'll reroll.
Oh no, you don't have to reroll.
Okay.
Because 4 was Sarah's, so I just gave that to someone else. Because it's more fun that way.
Okay.
Or I just gave her the next one down. 4, you pull out a name written in... Does Mira have really messy handwriting, I think? Because she's just learning how to use this hand.
Yeah, I guess Nora,
Yeah.
now that hers, it would be
So
pretty
she-
messy.
Pulls out you pull out a messily written note that says in yellow ink, Jimothy Larold.
Larold.
How is
Larold. Oh, I'm sorry.
Timothy
Timothy Larold.
How is it spelled?
Larold.
Imagine Timothy but with a J and Harold but with an L.
Yes.
And it says, noted socialite and heartbreaker.
Okay.
And your entire outfit integrity turns yellow, including your pirate hat and eye patch.
Perfect.
So now we're yellow on red on orange. Sarah.
Like the sun.
Okay. Going around to the other side, first we have Ainsley, who will roll. Ainsley, Winsler, if you were to look over and see, pulls out a note written in almost like a bright. What's the color?
Where's the word?
What's the word?
What
Red.
color is it adjacent to?
Like
Red,
indigo.
green.
Indigo.
Oh, both.
Like a nice indigo. And it reads Lambok.
Lambok.
And his entire outfit, including his little spectacles on the end of his nose, turn this bright indigo.
Beautiful.
Up next is Winsler. Please roll a d8.
Time to roll. What is that? That's an 8.
An 8.
Yeah, it's an 8.
You pull out in a very plain hand. It is written Wesham.
Wesham?
Wesham.
Wesham.
That's it? Wesham?
Wesham.
Wesham.
W-E-S-H-A-M.
Oh no, don't hurt me, Wesham.
A-M-M.
Oh
I'm just a small
And
little
your
gnome.
entire outfit turns black.
no!
Oh,
Shit, Wesham's hardcore.
And it reads, the subtitle which Felice has given to this is Surgeon with a Loving Heart.
damn. Winsler became goth.
Oh shit.
Amazing.
And then we will have Delness and Penny.
Penelope.
Oh boy.
Penelope. So Delness pulls out in red ink a note which reads Anastasia Furnicle, and her entire almost like grieving apparel turns bright red. It is even compared to her birthday dress, which was a bright yellow, this is literally the brightest colors you've ever seen upon her.
Neon.
All of you. Everyone almost looks shocked at her new color, as if it's very uncommon. And finally,
Like seeing a dog walk on its hind legs.
yes, sure.
Dang.
And Penny will pull out a single remaining piece of paper, upon it written Aridica Rowe. And her outfit, instead of a deep plum, is now a deep green.
Interesting.
I wonder what this is based off of.
And who's to say? And Felice will stand there and will say, now, individually, we will all take a short walk back to the lounge. And one by one, you can all start walking back to the lounge, which is where we will pick up next week.
Interesting.
Ooh, the
I'm
intrigue.
excited.
Sarah, could you do an outro for us?
I'm not Sarah, I'm Angles. Okay, hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Trials and Trebuchets. If you enjoyed it, it would really mean a lot if you were to leave a rating or a review on iTunes. They really help us out so much. You can also check out our Instagram or Twitter at Trials and Trebs if you want to see fan art, maps, previews for upcoming episodes, and other cool content, as well as just talk to us and hang out with us. Incidentally, we also have a Discord server to do that, and you can find the link to that on both of our social media if you scroll down a little bit. Finally, if you want to go that extra mile and really help support us even more, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/trialsandtrebs, which does stuff like help us afford hosting fees, get better equipment, cool art commissions, and other really awesome stuff. And if you do that, you can get cool benefits like getting to vote on bonus episodes, getting to see behind the scenes notes, and at certain levels, even make your own student NPC like
yeah.
Kyra last week.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, thanks so much for listening, and hopefully you will enjoy this murder mystery next week. Or I think it's a murder mystery. We just know it's a mystery, but I'm assuming there will be murder.
Someone will die.
We shall see.
It might be
It's definitely
someone
murder.
in
It's
this
literally
very
Clue.
room.
Literally
Right.
Clue. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
And we'll see you all later. Sorry, I just love Christine very much.